DDR5 memory is the latest generation of RAM technology that promises to deliver significant improvements in performance and efficiency for PC gaming. In this section, we will explore some of the benefits of using DDR5 memory for PC gaming, such as faster loading times, smoother performance, higher resolutions, and more immersive experiences. One of the main benefits of DDR5 memory is its higher bandwidth, which means it can transfer more data per second than DDR4 memory. Higher bandwidth translates to faster processing for memory-intensive applications such as games, video and image editors, 3D tools and browsers. For example, DDR5 memory can help to improve the user experience by increasing the number of frames per second, FPS, while playing certain games. Another benefit of DDR5 memory is its higher density, which means it can store more data per module than DDR4 memory. Higher density allows for more memory capacity in a system, which can enable higher resolutions and more detailed graphics in games. For example, DDR5 memory can support up to 64 GB per module, while DDR4 memory can only support up to 32 GB per module. This means that DDR5 memory can allow gamers to play games at 4K or even 8K resolution with more realistic textures and complex 3D models. A third benefit of DDR5 memory is its lower power consumption, which means it uses less energy than DDR4 memory. Lower power consumption reduces the heat generated by the memory modules, which can improve the stability and longevity of the system. For example, DDR5 memory can operate at 1.1 V, while DDR4 memory operates at 1.2 V. This means that DDR5 memory can save up to 20% of power compared to DDR4 memory, which can also lower the electricity bill and carbon footprint of the system. In summary, DDR5 memory offers many advantages for PC gaming over DDR4 memory, such as higher bandwidth, higher density, and lower power consumption. These benefits can result in faster loading times, smoother performance, higher resolutions, and more immersive experiences for gamers. However, DDR5 memory is still relatively new and expensive compared to DDR4 memory, so it may not be worth upgrading for everyone. The actual performance gains may vary depending on the game, the CPU, the GPU, and other factors. Therefore, gamers should carefully weigh the pros and cons of DDR5 memory before deciding whether to upgrade or not. DDR5 memory is the latest generation of RAM that promises faster speeds, lower power consumption, and higher capacities than DDR. But what are the challenges and limitations of adopting DDR5 memory for PC gaming? In this section, we will explore some of the factors that might affect your decision to upgrade to DDR5 or stick with DDR. One of the main challenges of DDR5 memory is compatibility. DDR5 memory is not backward compatible with DDR4 motherboards or processors. This means that you will need a new motherboard and CPU that support DDR5 memory if you want to use it. Currently, only Intel's 12th Gen Alder Lake processors and AMD's upcoming Ryzen 7000 processors support DDR5 memory. These processors also require new chipsets and sockets, such as LGA 1700 for Intel and AM5 for AMD. Therefore, upgrading to DDR5 memory will require a major overhaul of your PC components, which can be costly and time-consuming. Another challenge of DDR5 memory is availability. DDR5 memory is still relatively new and scarce in the market. There are only a few manufacturers that produce DDR5 memory kits, such as G.Skill, Corsair, Kingston, Team Group, and Adata. The supply of DDR5 memory is also limited by the production capacity of the memory chip makers, such as Samsung, Micron, and SK Hynix. As a result, DDR5 memory is often out of stock or sold at high prices. For example, a 32 GB kit of G.Skill Trident Z5 RGB DDR5-7200 MHz costs around $500, while a similar kit of DDR4-3600 MHz costs around $1. A third challenge of DDR5 memory is future-proofing. DDR5 memory is expected to evolve and improve over time, as new standards and specifications are developed. For example, the current maximum speed of DDR5 memory is 7,200 MHz, but future versions could reach up to 8,400 MHz or even 10,000 MHz. The current maximum capacity of DDR5 memory is 64 GB per stick, but future versions could go up to 128 GB or even 256 GB. The current voltage of DDR5 memory is 1.1 V, but future versions could drop to 1.05 V or even 1 V. These improvements could make the current DDR5 memory kits obsolete or incompatible with future motherboards and processors. So, what does this mean for PC gaming? Well, it depends on your budget, preferences, and needs. If you have a lot of money to spend and want to enjoy the latest and greatest technology, then upgrading to DDR5 memory might be worth it. You will get faster speeds, lower latency, and higher bandwidth than DDR4 memory, which could improve your gaming performance in some scenarios. You will also be ready for future games and applications that might require more memory or benefit from faster memory. However, if you are on a tight budget or happy with your current PC setup, then upgrading to DDR5 memory might not be necessary or beneficial. You will have to replace your motherboard and CPU along with your RAM, which can be expensive and complicated. You will also have to deal with the limited availability and high prices of DDR5 memory kits. And you might not see a significant difference in your gaming performance compared to DDR4 memory, especially if you are using a discrete graphics card that has its own dedicated VRAM. You might also end up with outdated or incompatible DDR5 memory kits in the near future. Therefore, the choice between DDR4 and DDR5 memory for PC gaming is not clear-cut or simple. It depends on many factors that vary from person to person. Ultimately, you have to weigh the pros and cons of each option and decide what works best for you.